There are many misconceptions about dogs. Surprisingly, the average dog owner gets quite a few facts wrong about dogs. And even worse, loads of misinformation gets passed around. So, how do you really know what's going on with your canine best friend? Is that wagging tail a sign of happiness? Does your dog really see in black and white? And are there different reasons for why dogs lick your hands, face, ears, feet, or legs? To help you get to know your pup better, we have debunked the most common dog myths that just aren't true. Many people consider some breeds to be more dangerous than others. This belief has led to the implementation of laws aimed at banning specific breeds, with pit bulls often finding themselves in the crosshairs. Pit bulls are one of the most common breeds considered dangerous. German Shepherds, Jack Russell Terriers, Collies, Chow Chows, and other breeds are often labeled as aggressive as well. But let's not throw them all in the doghouse just yet. Each individual pup is unique and should be judged based on their own behavior and upbringing. However, the American Veterinary Medical Association performed a peer-reviewed summary of current dog aggression studies. They found that the breed of a canine isn't linked to aggression or bite risk. The dog's training and socialization are some of the most critical factors involved. Let's not judge a book by its cover or a dog by its breed. To sum it up in a broad shell, breeding alone does not determine a dog's propensity for aggression or danger. It's all about how they are trained and socialized. So, instead of pointing fingers at specific breeds, let's focus on responsible pet ownership and ensuring that all dogs receive the love, care, and training they deserve. But their tails are wagging is a phrase that pet owners often use to gauge their furry friend's happiness. It's like a canine version of a smiley face. Tail wagging doesn't always indicate joy. It can be a sneaky signal of stress or anxiety in your beloved pooch. Even if the dog is acting aggressively otherwise, tail wagging is often considered a sign of happiness. Therefore, if a dog's tail is wagging, it must not be upset. However, this is not true in the least. Tail wagging is not always a sign of happiness. It can also be a sign that your dog is stressed or anxious. Imagine your furry friend finds themselves in a tense confrontation with another dog. You might expect them to be having a grand old time if their tail is wagging furiously, right? Well, hold your biscuits. In this situation, tail wagging can actually be a sign of discomfort or unease. It's like when you force a smile at an awkward family gathering. It doesn't necessarily mean you're having a blast. Dogs are colorblind is a myth everyone throws around without a second thought. And if you're one of the people who have partaken in this practice, I hate to break it to you, but it's a myth. Dogs aren't colorblind in the truest sense of the word. While it is true that dogs see fewer colors than us, they can differentiate between two of the three primary colors. Their retinas have two of the three photoreceptors necessary to see different colors. This means they can see color, albeit a little differently from us. While dogs have fewer color receptors in the eye than humans do, they are still capable of perceiving grays, blues, and yellows. They certainly do not see the world in black and white. Just because dogs don't see the world in all its colorful glory doesn't mean they can't appreciate its beauty. In fact, their visual system is finely tuned to detect motion and contrast. This means that while they may not be able to appreciate the subtle nuances of a rainbow, they excel at spotting movement and differentiating between objects based on their brightness and contrast. So, the next time you throw a colorful ball for your furry friend, remember that they may not see it in the same vibrant hues as you do, but rest assured, they can still see it and chase after it with all their doggy enthusiasm. There is a common misconception that one dog ear is equal to 7 human ears. However, that is not true in the least. Different dog breeds have different lifespans, which means that they age differently as well. Dogs don't even age at the same rate as people. For instance, bigger dogs often hit maturity later. However, they also live a shorter period. Their lifespan is not congruent with people in the least. This theory likely came about by someone taking the average dog lifespan and comparing it to human ears. Humans live about 70 times longer than dogs. A dog's lifespan can vary so widely that this isn't accurate in the least. It may work for some dogs, but this theory is inaccurate for the most part. Your best bet is to look at your dog's growth cycle and not compare their lifespan artificially to people. My dear inquisitive human, remember this: there is no universal formula for converting dog ears into human ears. Each dog breed has its own unique timeline of growth and aging. It's like trying to fit a Great Dane into a Chihuahua-sized sweater. It just doesn't work. Yes, dogs will lick you to show their affection, giving you kisses, but there are several other reasons you could end up with a slobbery face or hand. Slobbery face or hand. Studies have shown that licking releases endorphins in a dog's brain. Endorphins make dogs and us feel calmer and more relaxed. This then leads to a release of dopamine, another neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. There are many things that dogs lick, some more repulsive than others. So, what does it mean when a dog licks you? Why do they lick your hands? Well, as you trot through the world, your hands gather an area of intriguing smells and delectable flavors that your furry friends just can't resist investigating once you return home. You might touch other people or animals, and you very likely touch food. Your hands become like a captivating roadmap for your pup, narrating the tale of your adventures, and they simply can't resist tasting and sniffing every destination your hands have encountered. And let's not forget about those sweaty palms. They leave behind a salty residue on your skin that is absolutely perfect for your doggo to savor. Why do they shower us with face licks? Apart from the fact that our faces are like a buffet of scents and flavors to them, this adorable behavior is actually deeply rooted in their instincts. Dogs lick each other's faces for mutual grooming, affection, and to communicate appeasement or harmlessness. Pet parents who love when their dogs lick them may also reinforce the behavior with their excited responses. Why do they lick your ears? Our dog may be licking your ears to taste them, keep them clean, or possibly to show you some extra love. The apocrine glands in your ear canals secrete a thick fluid that creates an odor when it mixes with the natural bacteria on your skin. Combined with the ceruminous glands, which create earwax, your ears offer a collection of enticing smells and tastes. Why do dogs have a penchant for licking your feet? All of those eerie glands on the soles of your feet create a lot of sweat, and that sweat creates a lot of salt. But it's not just the saltiness that attracts dogs to our feet. If you happen to be ticklish, the act of your dog licking your feet can turn into a playful between the two of you. The sensation of their wet tongue on your feet might make you smile or laugh, and this positive reaction can reinforce the behavior. Dogs are quick learners, and they soon realize that licking your feet gets them attention from you. This attention-seeking behavior can prolong the licking session and increase the likelihood of it happening again in the future, especially when your sockless feet make an appearance. Behaviorally, if your furry friend is constantly giving their tongue a workout in response to an event but just won't quit, it could be a sign of anxiety. It's like they're saying, "I'm feeling a bit rough right now." Excessive licking of a person might mean that your doggo isn't quite comfortable with that individual, and is either trying to positively soothe themselves, gather more intel, or politely ask the person to move away with their slobbery kisses. On the medical side of things, if your puppy is engaging in chronic licking, not just regular grooming, of a specific area on their body, it could be a clue that something is not quite right. It's like they're saying, "Hey human, I've got an itch that needs scratching." This persistent licking could be evidence of allergies, infections, or even pain. So it's important to pay attention and give them the proper care they need. And if you catch your four-legged friend licking everything in sight, from couches to rugs to floors, it might be an indication of gastrointestinal issues. They're basically saying, "I'm feeling a bit rough in my tummy."